8 crazy stories of people being unfriended on Facebook. The thief who threatened to unfriend his mom on Facebook after she confronted him about his crime. Charlie Cooper claims that his ecstasy addiction led him to rob the houses he cleaned and eventually get caught by the Canterbury, England police. After his local paper published a story about his arrest along with his photo, Charlie started complaining about it to the paper on Facebook. His chief complaint was that the paper didn't ask him if they could take a picture of him. It was at this point that Charlie's mom dressed the 20-year-old down on his Facebook post. Quote, "They don't need your permission to take your picture if the courts have given them permission to be there to do so," which of course enraged Charlie further. He responded, quote, "They do. I don't want my picture taken. End of." To which Charlie's mom wrote back, in all caps, quote, "It done now. That lady didn't want her jewelry taking, but you did it anyway. End of." Charlie then threatened to block his mom on Facebook. Quote, "This is why I didn't have you on Facebook, Mom. You say things like that. I'm blocking you, okay?" Following the exchange, several folks weighed in on the legal reality that the newspaper absolutely didn't need permission to publish Charlie's photo, since he was arrested for the crimes he had committed. The man who created a website that unfriends your Facebook friends for you. Here's how advanced social media has gotten, or out of control depending on how you look at it. There's a new website called Friend Fracker. It's for people who have a lot of Facebook friends who aren't real friends and just take up space on their newsfeed. But they also take up space in your conscience. You want to unfriend them, but you feel guilty about it. So Friend Fracker is like your online hitman. You connect it to your Facebook account, it analyzes your friends, identifies your real friends, then randomly unfriends a bunch of the rest, up to 10 of them. It never tells you who it unfriended, but many people's friend lists are so clogged that they'll never be able to tell anyway. Thus, there's no guilt. Friend Fracker was created by Rafael Lozano Hemmer, an electronic artist from Mexico, and Harper Reed, a tech engineer who lives in Chicago. Fun fact, Reed was Chief Technology Officer of President Obama's re-election campaign. The Hungarian Prime Minister who unfriended IMF on Facebook. Hungary's Prime Minister has long had a testy relationship with the International Monetary Fund, and in 2012, he used Facebook to unfriend the agency and reject its allegedly tough loan conditions. Prime Minister Viktor Orban said in a video message on his official Facebook page that Hungary would not accept pension cuts, the elimination of a bank tax, fewer public employees, and other conditions in exchange for an IMF loan that other officials have said could be about 15 billion euros. The IMF's list of conditions, Orban said, contains everything that is not in Hungary's interests. Orban's announcement took the markets by surprise, in part because just a day earlier he had said that loan negotiations with the IMF and the European Union were going according to schedule, and that both sides were willing to reach an agreement. The father who paid his daughter $200 to unfriend Facebook. Parents who've threatened to take away computers or shut off internet service in order to pull their kids away from Facebook may want to consider the solution reached by one Boston family back in 2013: cash. Paul Baer, a research consultant, paid his 14-year-old daughter $200 in cold hard cash to keep her off Facebook for 4 months. The father and daughter even put it down in writing. Baer posted their Facebook deactivation agreement on his blog, Practical Sustainability. It says, quote, "I, state your name, agree to deactivate my Facebook account from February 4th, 2013 to June 6th, 2013. In return, my dad, Paul Baer, agrees to pay me $50 on April 15th, 2013 and $150 on June 26th, 2013. He/she will have access to my Facebook to change the password and to deactivate the account. This will prevent me from reactivating the account in the future. I plan to use the money for the following purposes: stuff." The contract is signed by Baer and his daughter, whose name was redacted. Specifics such as dates and amounts and the names of the father and daughter fill blanks in the text. The deal was, quote, "her idea, which I fully support," Baer said on the blog. The man who killed himself after a girl unfriended him on Facebook. In 2009, a 21-year-old Brighton hanged himself after a girl removed him as a friend on the Facebook social network. Simon Foxley became interested in the girl after meeting her on the website, but when he told her about his romantic feelings, she unfriended him from her list. Foxley tried to contact the girl, but her friends reportedly bombarded him with abusive messages and told him to leave her alone. After reading a message that read, quote, "Go and die," Foxley hanged himself in the garden of his home. His body was found by his 56-year-old father and his 18-year-old brother. His family said that being unfriended and bullied on Facebook affected him terribly. Before killing himself, Foxley wrote a suicide note that said, quote, "Thank you for everything that you have done for me. I hope you will all make the most of your lives and cherish the people and the moments you share with them. I can't say sorry enough times for it to be the slightest bit good." A couple who unfriended a woman and were murdered by her father. In 2012, 36-year-old Billy Payne Jr. and his girlfriend, 23-year-old Billie Jean Hayworth, unfriended 30-year-old Janelle Potter on Facebook. Janelle was upset, but not as much as her 60-year-old father, Marvin Buddy Potter. He was so angry when he learned about the unfriending that he and 38-year-old Jamie Lynn Curd, who reportedly had romantic feelings for Janelle, went out and murdered Payne and Hayworth. The couple was survived by an 8-month-old baby boy who was found unharmed in Hayworth's arms. The couple was shot in their home. They lived with Billy Payne Sr., who was the last person to see them alive. He reportedly saw Hayworth get up to feed the baby before he left for work. About 5 hours later, when a former neighbor stopped by to pick up mail that the family would save for him, Payne was found dead in his bedroom and Hayworth was found dead in the baby's room. Both victims were shot in the head. The year before, Payne and Hayworth complained to police that Janelle was harassing them via telephone and over the internet after they unfriended her on Facebook. The transgender woman who attacked her boyfriend because he unfriended her and changed his status to single. In February of 2012, a transgender woman attacked her boyfriend with a knife, a pair of scissors, and a fork after he unfriended her on Facebook and changed his status to single. William Hans de Vera Arriscado, a 25-year-old Filipino who had a sex change but could not change her name under her country's laws, was then sentenced to 2 years in jail for causing her Australian lover grievous harm. Ms. Arriscado inflicted 16 separate and serious injuries on 47-year-old bank worker Colin James Peaty. The couple first quarreled about Mr. Peaty's Facebook status while in a pub at Duxton Road. Mr. Peaty headed back to his rented condominium alone. When Arriscado, who was on a social visit pass, reached the home, they started arguing again. Arriscado grabbed a knife with a 20 centimeters long blade, which was in the bedroom, and stabbed and slashed Mr. Peaty repeatedly. He was left with stab wounds to his abdomen and cuts to other parts of his body, including his face and eyes. The bridesmaid who set fire to her friend's house after being unfriended on Facebook. In November of 2011, a Des Moines, Iowa woman was arrested for an arson attack on the home of a former friend who had quarreled with her and unfriended her on Facebook. Jennifer Christine Harris, 30 years old, was charged with first-degree arson after setting fire to the home of Jim and Nikki Rasmussen. Harris, who was a maid of honor at the Rasmussen wedding, was a teacher's associate at a local elementary school. Nikki Rasmussen and Harris's friendship dissolved when they argued while trying to plan a birthday party for Harris. Harris then began to disparage her on Facebook, so Nikki decided to unfriend and block her bridesmaid. Fortunately, the Rasmussens woke up and escaped unharmed from the fire just as it began to melt the siding on their house.